Well, it's a volunteer organization giving children who've been removed from their homes a voice in court. Joining us to learn more about CASA of Hidalgo County is Veronica Whitaker, Executive Director. Thanks so much for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Well, first of all, tell us about CASA. What is your mission?
Okay, so CASA, first of all, stands for Court Appointed Special Advocate. And the most important piece of CASA is the advocate. So we seek an ordinary person that always calls and says, "Can I do any volunteer? What can I do?" And I said, "You can definitely be a volunteer, and you'll be here for quite some time." And so what it is that we train them 4 weekends in a row, and then train 2 online and 2 at CASA. And what we do is, and then that person, the advocate, is the voice for the child.
So they get matched up with a child who's been removed.
They get matched up with a child that has been removed and who needs to go, is going to go to court eventually, and so they need to learn about that child. And so we ask them to at least have 15 different times of engagement with the child during the month. And everybody's like, "Oh my God, what do I have to do?" That's a phone call, it's a text, it's a visit, it's sending them a message, whatever it takes just to have contact with that child at least 15 times during the month is what we're looking for. And then at the same time, they are prepping, because the advocate is actually the person who speaks for the child when we go to court.
So they speak on their behalf.
They speak on their behalf, yes ma'am.
So
yes.
When we're talking about children removed from their home, how many children are we talking about?
And
what are the situations?
Okay, so the situations is basically if they were abused, neglected, and then they go to become a foster child, so that they're out of the situation. So most of the time, in the past, the children were a lot of the teachers would see them, the PE coaches. It was a lot of different areas that would call us, or even when they went to the doctor's office and they saw bruises or, cuts or whatever the situation, or they were malnourished. There's so many different ways that we can identify our children. And then, of course, a lot of the times when you see the same shoe, the same hair, and it hasn't been touched, so something is going on within. And so we used to be able to go into their homes as a caseworker or somebody the teachers or even us as social workers to go visit and just kind of find out what's going on. Now, of course, they've changed the bill, and that bill, the child has to be in imminent danger and has to be then picked up either by the sheriff or the police department, which has been more difficult. We went from 600 and something children in Hidalgo County. Right now we're down to 340. In CASA alone, we have 100, which is still good, and we're still taking care of children. And slowly they're kind of coming back to the old way, which is, I'm hoping in the next 2 years they change that bill back to take care of these children, of course.
100 children, that's still a lot of children to be an advocate for.
It is.
So what does it take to be a volunteer? You mentioned the 4 weeks, right?
The 4 weeks, and we train them 100% and teach them exactly what they need to know, what goes on. And once they are completed their 4 weeks of involvement and learning, then they are certified by the judge, by the CASA judge. So, and they are certified, and then they become actually the advocate, and that's what helps the most for all of us, because we can't keep up. Of course, I have 8 members, eight employees in the office, and each one of those eight employees, they have the cases, and they guide the advocate all the way through to the end. So my case managers, of course, they're visiting, they're making sure all of the court reports are up to date, everything is up to date for that child. They go to the school to ask to visit with the school, also visit with the anybody else in the school, the PE teacher, even the ladies that serve them at the cafeteria. So
the need is great for volunteers.
Yes, it is. Oh, it's 100%. We're always asking.
Can they sign up at any time, or is there only certain times of years that they?
We can sign them in, and it might that I'd have to wait for a month, because, like for instance, we are just about to start another exercise for them to get it going, and so right now we are about to finish. We finished this coming Saturday, the last four Saturdays that we have had them there at the office, and so then we are going to start again in the middle of February. So we try to keep up as much as possible so that we don't lose those advocates.
And so how many are you looking for? I know you say you're always needing them. You need them all the time. Do you have a specific number that you'd like to reach?
Right now, actually, we're going to, we have about 14 who are going to finish all of the information. And so, God, I think if we were to get 35, 40 more, we would be great definitely.
All right, so
definitely.
they're looking for 35, 40 more advocates for these children. You can sign up. We thank you so much for joining us and sharing that important information about CASA, because the work that you all do is important work for these kids.
That's right. We take care of abused, neglected, and foster children on a daily basis. And the advocate, of course, is the most important. And we're always looking for someone to come over and say, I'm here to help.
All right. Call that number. Well, not that number, but check out their website. It's right there on your screen, casaofhidalgo.com, to get more information on how to become a volunteer or an advocate.
I can give you the number really quick.
Okay. There's
956-381-0346.
And we're going to be right back.
Thank you.